What's going on, my Cardano friends? It is your friend Jack here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over how I got liquidated on purpose for science and just in general, liquidations, how they work, and specifically how Indigo Protocol, Cardano's latest DeFi dApp that has deployed, works and how not to get liquidated. First things first, if you want to support the channel and also earn passive ADA on your ADA while helping decentralize the Cardano network, please consider staking with the Jack stake pool. We got 6 million ADA staked in there. Thank you so much if you're already staking. You mean a lot. Now, we're going to be going over Cardano synthetics today, and specifically how to get liquidated using them or how to not get liquidated and how I got liquidated. This is a full video, a full guide. If you want to learn how to use Indigo and the risks associated with it, I have a 20-minute guide I released yesterday. It's timestamped and you can go through it yourself. But yesterday in that video, I opened two positions. One for 116% collateralized ratio in IUSD. So I minted the assets. I have to repay them as debt, or if I don't repay them as debts and the position goes over the collateral ratio, they take my collateral, okay? And my CDP or my debt position is canceled. I still have the assets. So that's 116% collateralized ratio. The minimum is 110%. I also took one out for 110% with Bitcoin. These were intended to get liquidated, as this is not a lenient way to open a position. 110% collateral basically means that, in the case of Bitcoin at least, the minimum collateral for Bitcoin on this protocol is 110%. So if it goes below that by 1%, someone can freeze my position and liquidate it. Not 10%, not the extra 10% between 100 and 110, but 1% between IUSD and ADA, or if it's between Bitcoin and ADA, then if it's 0.5% each way and my collateral is 110%, liquidated. So essentially, when you're opening positions, you have to think of it in a way that is a little bit more scary. And because 110% is terrible, unless you know what you're doing and you're professional and you're there to go open a position, make a trade or arbitrage, and then close it immediately before it can get liquidated or frozen, then you probably don't want to mess with that unless you're just trying to lose 10%, or you're okay with taking the IUSD at a 10% loss and say ADA price goes down, you get liquidated. If it goes down further, you can then buy back with the IUSD and get more ADA technically over repaying your debt or over the collateral that you lost. So to me, there's some really cool lessons in this and examples for how to make money when even getting liquidated from things like ADA price going down, you holding IUSD, your collateral gets wiped, but you're only at 10% collateralized ratio. So if Cardano price goes down more than your collateral, you then buy back in with more Cardano. And it doesn't matter that you lost your collateral on your CDP because you're up in terms of dollar values and you have more ADA now. Now, when you get liquidated on Indigo at the moment, it doesn't really tell you anything. As you can see here, you're going to see that nothing really happens, right? I can now just open new positions. Doesn't show me my old ones, but that means they're no longer there. They've been liquidated. The CDPs are no longer my wallets and they're gone. Now, I do still have the assets I minted, so I didn't really lose that much. I lost around 10% on my dollar for the assets I minted, so it wasn't really that bad. And I just wanted to keep people in mind that yesterday I kind of mentioned that if you have 150% collateral, then you have 50% of leeway for ADA to drop. That is not the case. An example of this, which I read in the paper, outlines it in a much more detailed way and makes it a little bit more scary for people who do want to mess around and not get liquidated. So we're going to go over this example right here. Keep in mind that MCR is minimum collateral ratio and CR is just collateral ratio. MCR, CR. This is based off of someone named Violet wanting to mint 100 IDOT. So synthetic dot, probably synthetic polka dot. Right now, or at the time of their wanting to mint this 100 IDOT, it is worth $15. Violet then has 2,000 ADA, is willing to deposit, uses collateral to borrow IDOT. ADA is trading at 128. Then 2,000 ADA deposits to mint the 100 IDOT, and then the rest left over of the ADA is going to be put up as collateral. Now, Violet has 100 IDOT and owes 100 IDOT to Indigo. Violet is still earning staking rewards from the 2000 ADA. This is awesome. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, but cannot transfer because it is now used as collateral. To regain control, You just have to pay back the debt of 100 IDOT and you get your collateral back, and good is good. The collateral ratio for this debt position is 171%. So now that we have a collateralized ratio of 171%, this is cool. You can calculate it here. Basically, the collateral put up ADA times the amount it's worth, and then the debt position times, how much it's worth as well, and then divide the two. So pretty simple. It's not that complicated. 1.71, 171%. As the price of either DOT or ADA changes, the collateralized ratio changes as well. So if one of these increases, this calculation would increase or change, and this end result would be different. When the collateralized ratio drops below IDOTs, the specific asset on Indigo, and this is going to be different for every single asset. Right now, I believe they're both 110%, IUSD and IBTC, but this could be different voted on the DAO between other assets, so keep that in mind. When the minimalized collateralized ratio is dipped below by the collateralized ratio, the CDP is then subject to be liquidated, frozen and liquidated, meaning the collateral wiped and the debt position closed. If the price of ADA was to increase to $1.40 and DOT increases to $19, then Violet's collateralized ratio would drop to 147%. New calculation right here. If the IDOT minimalized collateralized ratio was 150%, the CDP could be liquidated, and upon liquidation, Violet would lose her ADA collateral deposit. Violet would still have the IDOT, the minted assets, or the debt that was previously owed, worth $1,900, and then the 2000 ADA she would have lost to be worth $2,800. Therefore, Violet could have lost $900 of value from this liquidation. And to have prevented liquidation, Violet needed to either add more ADA into the CDP to increase the collateralized ratio, or close the CDP by returning the IDOT she borrowed initially before she was liquidated. So yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense when you look at it this way through examples and seeing myself get liquidated. And I've learned a lot over the past little bit on how people can leverage things like taking out loans or debt positions and bringing them to the open market if there's the opportunity to do so, which there probably won't be the further we get into this, because more people will realize the opportunity and it'll just be more saturated in general. It's how these DeFi yields and DeFi opportunities usually work. So be careful. Don't take out too much debt positions, and probably use more than 110% collateral unless you're really know what you're doing. I myself probably won't be taking out any large positions unless I have 185% collateral or more. But even then, I'll be managing the position, checking it, seeing the collateralized ratio day to day. And if it's even less collateral, probably hour by hour, just seeing how it goes. But keep track of your positions, try with small numbers, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. It's me, your friend Jack. Peace out.